host, Ryan Hensley.
Now your host, Ryan Hensley.
What's going down, everybody? Happy Monday. I'm here with you know who he is, Crock. What's up, Crock? How you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Feeling good. Blessed. All that.
Yeah. Eric Crocker, for the maybe one person watching who doesn't know, former NFL corner, co-host of Locked On 49ers. Make sure you guys subscribe to his personal channel. He's in the process of relaunching his channel here in the next couple months at this new studio. And he's also on Locked On 49ers every single day. They're available on podcast form. Top podcasts in 49ers land, I believe, right? You and Mayako battle it out?
Us and Mayoko battle it out. We're usually 1 and 2. I'd say, I think it just kind of flip-flops a lot of times. Sometimes he'll be over us a little bit, then sometimes we'll be over him. It's usually not too far off. But it's pretty fun to kind of like check the charts and then see, who's ahead out of us too.
That's phenomenal, man. To be up at the top, there's a lot of them out there. So to be all the way up at the top like that, that's a
Peacock did the heavy lifting, man. Shout out to my co-host Brian Peacock. He's been doing Locked On 49ers for a while now, and he had a podcast previously. Then got into Locked On. It's a daily podcast, 30 to 35 minutes every day. And it had got to a point where he felt like it would be more beneficial to have someone that he can bounce things off of, that can potentially bring a value to the show. Yeah. And he came and got me. So I am going on my 3-year anniversary come June 1st. So
yeah, man,
it's been a while, man.
Great job. It's a good combination. You guys are very complimentary. That's what I try to do, honestly, on my show too, is bring people that are complimentary. Like, even in business, man, it could be on the show, YouTube, it could be in business, whatever it is. The most important thing for me has always been self-awareness. So I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm not good at, right? And so I try to bring people that compliment me in that way. And that's why I love having you on. I'm sure Peacock's the same way. You guys are very complimentary to each other, different styles. And that's what makes it such a good show. So make sure you guys are all following Locked On 49ers on YouTube, as well as where we get all your podcast information. Real quick, man, Don't Bother Me, who is a member, appreciate you, bro. He says, smash that like button and subscribe. If you truly enjoy the content, hit the join button. Yeah, man, please do. I appreciate it. We're at 9,150 something subs. So my goal is to hit 10K before the season, and I think we're going to get there, man. Like 8. Let me do my math. 850? Yeah, 850 to get there. Please make sure you do. And then Regis says, good morning and happy Monday. Be sure you like and sub to both channels. We'll be listening. Got lots of work today. Be safe. Have an awesome show, Shell. For all my members, man, I try to get their comments up here for sure. Like Tanisha here. Good morning, Ryan and Crock and chat. Good morning, Tanisha. Thank you for joining us, man. So I'm going to talk to Crock about a few different things that are kind of prevalent right now. And then we're going to actually do our first mock draft together. You're going to see a lot of mocks this week, but it's very educational. So go hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, both channels. Croc, let me ask you, last time, I'm tired of talking about this, really. I'm glad it's draft week. But what's your final call on BA, man? Brandon Aiyuk will play for who in 2024?
I think the easy answer is San Francisco 49ers. I could see scenarios where it plays out a different way. But ultimately, I think the 49ers, they want Brandon Aiyuk to be a 49er. I think that Brandon Aiyuk wants to be a 49er. It's just ironing out the details. And right now you're going through the business side of things. So, hopefully they, come Thursday, the first round is gone. And if Brandon Aiyuk is still a 49er, that is an amazing sign.
Yeah, and I think that's what is going to happen. If I had to wager money, I don't think he's going to go anywhere. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible that he gets traded on draft day. If someone offers him something substantial, the Niners will probably do it. But I just don't think they're going to offer anything substantial enough to make the Niners want to move off of Brandon Aiyuk, who's proven his worth.
I like to do it in percentages, right? Because everybody tries to act like it's impossible for him to get traded. It's definitely possible. Now, it might be a slim possibility, but I'd say, 10% chance that it happens. So you got a 90% chance that he's still a 49er after Thursday night. And I think most people would take those odds. But we can't act like there's no scenario nor possibility where this guy is wearing another uniform next year, depending on how some of the contract negotiations have gone. So, I think we're very familiar with this situation. We've gone through it with Deebo Samuel. Obviously, slightly different with Nick Bosa. I think it was very clear Nick Bosa wasn't going anywhere. But with Brandon Aiyuk, I do think it's a possibility, albeit very, very, very slight.
Yeah, I agree. I think he stays with us. We'll see. We'll find out. I mean, the good news is draft's on Thursday, so we're right there to where we know for sure. If he's still with the Niners after the draft, he's definitely not going anywhere. They'll figure out a contract, whether they fifth-year option or extend him. We'll see, but at least he'll be with the Niners. So what's the biggest two needs? We're going to get into this mock draft here in a second, but what are the two biggest needs for the 49ers? If you could just do two, can't cheat and do three. You got to do two.
All right. If I was just to say two positions that I feel like the 49ers drastically, I don't even want to say drastically, but can have a guy come in and be a day one starter, I think it's two positions people aren't really talking about. One, free safety. I don't think free safety has the positional value of, an edge rusher or offensive tackle or maybe even the guard for the 49ers. But in the sense of need, Tayshaun Gibson holding it down. He ain't there no more. Hufanga, he's coming off of an injury. Yeah, Jair Brown, rookie year. And towards the end of it, one, he wasn't a starter at the beginning of the season. He stepped into injury. They ended up replacing him with a guy that was just on a cruise boat, drinking alcohol, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, we got to replace you with Jair. Then he gets hurt. But I think that's a position people aren't quite talking about, and is an area that the 49ers definitely can really look to lock up for the long term. So I think it starts with safety position in the sense of just a pure need. Everywhere else, most people are going to say, like I see Michael Catanzaro in the chat. He says O-line CB. I think the other position for me is CB. So safety, CB. And if I was to say CB, you can pick your poison. Do you want a new starting nickel, or do you want a new starting outside guy, depending on what you want to do with Diamador Lenore? So that's a little bit more flexible. It could be outside corner, it could be nickel, and Lenore can play off of either way. But I think those two positions are two of the positions where it feels like you don't have a starter. Even the offensive line, like if we want to talk about O-line, of course you can improve. Of course you can get better. But they got the entire offense coming back. You got the whole starting offense from the Super Bowl coming back. An offense that was top in the league, an offense that has plenty of weapons. Everybody's coming back. But on defense, you can find areas where you don't have everybody coming back, and you can definitely improve and need a starter. So that I know that's a different take on it, but that's kind of my angle a little bit.
That's the angle is a DB, right? You're DB, so you focusing on the DBs, not for me.
Not even though, because if
yeah,
to me it's just you have all your starters coming back from offense, every single one of them.
Yeah,
and guys I feel like Kyle really likes. Defense is not. That's not it. Like you have a safety that's coming off of a bad injury. You got a safety that's gone, and then you had a rookie who they didn't trust. And then it's like, well, we don't really care for Ambry Thomas. We do like Diamador Lenore, but do we want to put him inside, outside? So it's not even so much like, I play DB. It's just the position the 49ers are in.
No, I was just messing around with you. But I will say this: like when it comes to corner, they need a corner for more than anything for the future. But like this year, they got Charvarius Ward, they got Diamador Lenore, they just signed Yeadham, they just signed Rock Ya-Sin. I feel like I feel like they're better at corner than they were last year. The only problem is none of those guys are under contract moving forward. They're talking about extending Diamador Lenore. If they do that, they'll be in slightly better shape, but they still need that corner for the future because none of these dudes are in contract. I don't even think they're going to pay Charvarius Ward after this season. I think he's going to be too much. They're not going to be able to afford him, honestly, especially for his age. So in that regard, I see what you're saying. And safety is a good one too. Like these are neither of my answers, but like not when you make the argument, it makes sense. I do like Huff. I thought Brown showed a lot of promise, and I'm hoping he can make that second-year jump like Huff did. And I'm hoping Huff comes back healthy. but who knows? And so I wasn't even thinking about that. Those are actually interesting answers, and I'm glad you answered that way because I was going to go. To me, I feel like the 49ers need at least one dude on the offensive line on the right side, like probably center or right tackle. I don't know if they're going to get like a week one starter on this draft. I'm hopeful they do, but I don't know. But I just know they need somebody to be a solid answer in this draft that for the future, we got somebody on the right side of this line that's going to be here for the next 4 years. That's important to me. I feel like that's one of the biggest needs. But I understand what you're saying. They could just roll with the same offensive line. And I've been saying for months that's probably what they're going to do. But I still want that answer because Trent's getting old. McKivitz is not great. Brunell's not great. Feliciano's on 1 year contract. And they didn't even draft one offensive lineman last year. So it's like, when are you guys going to invest in the line? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the big issue that they've run into is, one, not having the first round, draft picks over the last few years. And then when you are drafting, like you're drafting just later, right? So the way I view it, right, like when I mentioned, okay, you have your starting offensive line coming back. That don't mean everybody's good on that old line, but there were guys that started and contributed to a really good offense. So, I don't know exactly how Kyle looks at Feliciano or McKivitz. If I had to guess, if you gave him the choice of being able to replace them with someone that's better, he 100% would do it. I'd also guess that he would tell you it is not quite that easy to just replace those guys with someone that they potentially pick at 31.
Yeah.
If you were telling him, oh, you have a top 10 pick and you want to replace McKivitz, I bet he'd be like, oh, easy peasy, right? Like, okay, let me just get one of these terrific tackles. McKivitz, you're out of here. But when you're picking at 31, I think it's a guy that a lot of times he's not the perfect prospect, right? Like it's like, okay, well, he does this well, but man, doesn't do this well, doesn't do this well, doesn't do this well. Can we work with him on these things? Oh, he does this well, but man, he's like the opposite of the other guy. So it's like it's these guys, when we're talking about offensive linemen, that it's like they have this, but then they don't have these things. So if they don't have those things, you have to get them ready. Are those guys that day one going to come in and play over Feliciano or McKivitz? And that's not saying they can't. We've seen guys come in, wherever they're drafted with the 49ers, and all of a sudden you see a young guy take over a spot. Hell, go back to George Kittle, and maybe he just, but George Kittle, they got Vance McDonald up out of there and was like, all right, George Kittle, let's go. 5th round pick. So that's not Spencer Burford. We saw him come in, and all of a sudden he's getting a lot of snaps, and he was drafted 4th round. So it's not that it can't happen, but it's hard going into that process thinking that this guy is just definitely going to be better than McKivitz or Feliciano.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's why I've been saying, honestly, for 2.5, 3 months. Ever since the season was over, I had a month to clear my head. Probably since March, I've been saying that the 49ers they don't look at the offensive line like an immediate need. Now, in the future, they're going to need somebody, but the Niners don't see it that way. They see it as and it's true. They might actually be better because they have another year together. So, there's something to be said, especially on the O-line, about continuation and like playing together for long periods of time, working together. So they might be even better this year. But for me, that's one of the needs. The other one for me, man, is the defensive tackle position. You got Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott. Jordan Elliott's 2-year contract. Malik Collins is a 1-year contract. And then you got Javon Hargrave, who's getting older. I feel like the 49ers I would love to see them draft one O-lineman. I don't care if it's a center or a right tackle. And I would like to see them draft a defensive tackle who's an actual dude that could start right away. That's a guy I would like to see them get, even if it's the first pick. Like that one's super important to me. I like that we have 4 different positions between the two of us.
Yeah, and I think that just opens up more conversation, right? Like it's not just as cut and dry. And the 49ers, depending on how their board is, that gives them kind of a little bit more flexibility at 31 to really take the best player available. And I'll save it for when we do the mock. I think the 2 guys that I have in mind that I would love to get at pick 31, we'll see if they're there, but definitely like them for very, very different reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to we're going to do that in just a second. Actually, let me get your Oh, we got a super chat real quick. What's up, Dave? Thank you, brother. He says, my guys, what up? I'm a couple minutes late out here finishing the houses, but always trying to tune in. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Crock, good to see you. Ryan, always love your shows. Keep killing it. Both podcasts. Thank you very much, Dave, man. I always appreciate your support. Yeah, by the way, I have another YouTube channel called Mill Tickets, MILL Tickets. If you're not subscribed, link is in the details on how you can do that. And my goal, I'm trying to interview 100 self-made millionaires in 2024. And I feel like by doing that, I can learn a lot myself, and then I can teach people a lot. So that's been my mission, brother.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, I wish I was a self-made millionaire. Definitely not. But
hey, one day, man.
Hey, and everybody has different goals and aspirations. I don't think my goal has ever been like, man, I gotta make a milli. But I have done something to where the opportunities that come my way, how do I take advantage of those? And hopefully those help me get in a different position financially. So I definitely go that route. And talking to people that know money, that make money, that's helpful. So I got a buddy that you can definitely talk to. Shout out to my guy Malik. And I don't put his business out there.
I'm trying to line up as many as I can. So hook me up.
I got you, man. My guy Malik, you talk about self-made, didn't graduate high school, didn't graduate college. We can't play college football together. Has been in different lines of work between he was a firefighter at one point. He owned a CrossFit gym at one point. And now he, out of all things, he does roofing. And I never knew that roofing could be as lucrative.
He owns a roofing company.
Yeah, like he like, was it like a, like he gets the, sometimes he'll do some of the work sometimes, but for the most part, he has like, it's,
does it sales bidding?
He's killing it. Like when I talk about, when I say killing it, right now he's probably sitting next to his pool drinking a alcoholic beverage at 11:30 in Arkansas right now. So shout out to my guy Malik, man.
Yeah, I definitely, please connect me. I'll text you after this to remind you, because I'm trying to line them up. I got one scheduled for Tuesday, but I'm trying to do 2 a week so I can hit that 100 mark first year. That's my goal, man. All right, man. Do you trust the 40 big ass draft? We just laid out. That's what's funny is I asked you the 2 biggest needs, and they were different from my 2 biggest needs. So that means there's 4 really needs, and there's probably more than that, especially if they, move on from BA, which I don't know if they're gonna do, but they need a wide receiver probably too. They need a lot of things. This draft is super important, partially because they traded 3 first-round draft picks for Trey Lance, and they haven't had first rounders in a long time. Also, if you look at last year, the only real dude that they got was Brock Purdy out of all their draft picks. They haven't really done well over the last couple years. This is a very important draft. Do you trust the 49ers to draft well? Do the past failures worry you, or what's your confidence level in John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan to draft this year?
1 second, my dog's going crazy because my cousin just walked in.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. I'm a little concerned. I'll tell you that, man. I'm a little concerned just because they haven't drafted well as of late. Also, there's a lot of talk about Adam Peters being like the man behind the decisions, but if you look at the last couple of years, weren't really great decisions as well. So I don't know whether that loss of Adam Peters is going to be a good or bad thing, or how that's going to affect him. But this draft is so important, and I'm really hopeful that these guys can put it all together, man. What's your confidence level, bro?
I think overall, 49ers have done a really good job of finding guys that have the identity that fit what they like to do. When we talk about how well the draft has been, especially like last year, right? What do they really have to work with? As a matter of fact, you kind of have to include maybe Christian McCaffrey into that class, because he took away a 2nd and 3rd round pick and 4th round pick. So when you look at a team that has been drafting with limited draft resources because of a lot of what they spent on Lance and not working out for them, it put them in a tight spot. And now all of a sudden you're kind of pegged with this thing where you have to really hit on guys that are, day 3 guys. Like that's difficult. Like they didn't pick last year. I think they got Jair Brown. They traded up to pick 87 to get him. I mean, we're talking about very tail end of the 3rd round, and trying to find guys that can step in and play at a high level for a Super Bowl caliber team. Like that's very difficult. So I think from that standpoint, it's also hard on the guys that are drafting because the way that you develop or your expectations are drastically different. You're likely not going to get as much playing time as a rookie on a team that's not good. Think about the 49ers 2017. All those guys played, right? Kittle played, Witherspoon played, Trent Taylor, who's finally back, but Trent Taylor, he played. Adrian Colbert played, right? Like all Kendrick Bourne, undrafted, he played. All these guys played a significant role in trying to turn around this team, and they had the opportunity because you can live with whatever ups and downs come with that. But now, when you don't even have high draft picks, you're expected to come in and like play, and it's like, well, and you can't really get the experience to go through your ups and downs. That's extremely difficult. So I think it's gonna be harder and harder for these players to come in and make impact. I think you're looking for that one or maybe even two guys that kind of develop over time. At least that would be my way of going about it with the lack of draft picks that they've had over the last few years. Now you have pick 31. You got a second round pick. I think now you start to have a more of an opportunity to kind of swing, and hopefully one of these guys can step in. I just talked about how the 49ers on offense, every single starter is coming back, right? On defense, you got maybe one or two spots that someone can step in and play, and that's maybe. So you're just looking for one of these guys, like even just one out of one of these 11 picks that they have right now. Can one of these guys step in and play? And if so, I think that's more of a successful draft. And then hopefully down the line, maybe two more eventually develop into a guy that can play, because obviously you're going to need that from a financial standpoint.
Yeah, so if I said last year with Brock Purdy, I'm tripping. It's 2 years ago, 2022, they draft Jake Jackson Jr., Tyrone Davis Price, Danny Gary, Spencer Burford, Sam Womack, Nick Sakells, Cleo Davis, Tree Castro Fields, Brock Purdy. So really, out of that group so far, it's Brock Purdy hit, Spencer Burford, I don't know, Sam Womack, I don't know, and that's it. And then last year, they draft. So they did get Jair Brown. I forgot about Jair Brown. I don't know how I forgot about him. That's a good one. Jake Moody. That's a good one. So their first two picks, starters. And then after that, you got Cameron Latu, Darrell Luter, who the verdict's out on Luter. I don't know about I hate to write off Latu, man, but he had a bad training camp. You were there. He dropped like every pass that went his way. Guys, we
didn't
still
help
don't know.
When preseason came, the drops, the fumble. I think he started to pick it up late. Caught some passes from Lance, but yeah, that was a rough go for him.
Yeah, and then he hit IR. So really, Latu. I mean, if I'm being fair, he's an unknown. Last year he might not even made the team had he not got injured. So it got to be a blessing in disguise. Maybe he'll come out this year and catch us. So I'll leave Latu as an unknown. Luter, still unknown. Some good signs there. Robert Bill. I think some people are still excited about Bill and D Winters. Braden Wills did play a little bit. Ronnie Bell showed some flashes. So okay. Jalen Graham. That draft may not be as bad as it looks at this moment because some of those guys are talented.
Again, in a different scenario, let's say they play for Carolina Panthers. How many of those guys would have played way more and maybe show flashes of things that you look forward to seeing moving forward? Jalen Graham is a guy who, I was like, man, I'm excited to watch D Winters. And after preseason, it was Graham. Now, Winters played. He was more like special teams impact, but I think that was just more of, man, he's a terrific special teamer. If you're just talking about who can come in and play linebacker right now, they may go with a guy like Jalen Graham. So again, there's ability there. And then Braden Willis took snaps in the Super Bowl, for a guy that was a late round pick.
That's true. Yeah. So you got that holding call, but yeah, I mean that happens. Yeah. I mean, who knows, man? Like that's what I'm saying. You're probably right. We don't really know how this is going to turn out for you really need like 2 or 3 years anyways, right? Like to really understand what you got in players. So yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? Let's get into this draft. Before I do that, I do want to, I got to play my I got to plug my business, but instead of plugging my business, I'm going to show you this little video I made. I just upgraded my website. Shows you everything I do. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and me and Crocker are going to jump into that draft. What's up, everybody? I just upgraded my new website. Look at that guy. What a handsome little devil he is up in Oahu. The pillbox. That's where I was right there. But anyways, here's my Hensley real estate and mortgage information. You click that link, it'll take you to my real estate page, followed by the YouTube channels that I operate. I got 2 of them. Make sure you are subscribed to both. Then Blue Water Credit, fill out the Blue Water Credit free credit evaluation, get your credit analyzed for free. Followed by Hensley Solar, we get you that free solar estimate. Bottom, we got the real estate and mortgage testimonials from my clients, 5 stars across the board. I take my real estate stuff very serious. Contact page, how you can get a hold of me. Fill out the contact page. I'll get back with you all my info. You can even book me if you want to book me. Go ahead and book a brother. I appreciate it, man. And then the last, probably most important thing here is the links where you can get a hold of me, connect with me on everywhere. Connect with your boy. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. That was my website. I mean, I just spent some time working with my website guy and finally got it dialed in. Everything you need is on RyanGHensley.com, so please hit me up. All right, Crock, you ready to do this, man?
Hey, let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna take this down. Let me throw up my little. I get tired of these advertisements, so I made this little thing. There you go. Covers the advertisements. Yeah, you got.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you gotta pay us. You wanna advertise on our channel. All right, so we'll go fast with the in between stuff. 7 rounds. 49ers. I'm excited to do this with Crock because we haven't done it yet together. Yeah, man.
Let's do it.
Caleb Williams off the board. Oh, I see something I'm assuming you might like. We got some trade offers, man. Nothing like 40. Well, Giants 47 and 70. And
that's intriguing, but man, 49ers ain't picked that 31 in a long time. We want to keep the value of that 5th-year option. All
right, so we're gonna keep that. Jets offer. Damn, that people really want this pick. Houston 42. Yeah, let's reject all these at least for now. The first round through. Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do that. All right, man. Byron Murphy went off the board to the Ravens right before Johnny Newton. So 2 defensive tackles back to back, and then Adonai Mitchell right before that.
Who else? Go up. Let me see, like all the 20s.
Xavier Christian Haynes before that. Xavier Worthy, Chop Johnson. Jackson Powers Johnson, the center from Oregon. Graham Barton, center from Duke. Safety, Iowa. Cooper.
They took Coop. So Coop is somebody who, and I don't expect him to be there at 31, but I would definitely draft him at 31.
He's that good, huh?
Well, here's my thing. At corner, it's like he's cool. Like he's a cool corner. I like him. At safety, I love him. And because I've watched how he's able to play with his eyes, he does a terrific job understanding route concepts. He definitely has plus athleticism. He can cover bigger bodies. He's like 6 foot, 208 pounds. He can cover bigger body, tight ends. He also can cover slots. And if you told me like he could play in the slot as well as give you safety versatility, kind of like a Jimmy Ward, I definitely would take that. I'd see him coming in and not just being a good safety. I think, he could potentially be someone that's like an all-pro, Pro Bowl type safety. Like, I think he has that kind of ability. So, again, at corner, I'll pass. If you told me just defensive back, where he's kind of playing a hybrid safety / nickel spot, kind of a star position, I would love him there. Obviously, he's off the board, so aren't able to
I've
do
seen
that.
a couple mocks where he's still available, so we'll see what happens. He might be there when the Niners actually draft, because I've seen a few where he slips. I've also seen a few where Byron Murphy slips, where Johnny Newton slips, where Jackson Powers Johnson and Graham Barton slip. Yeah. On this one that we did, they're gone quick. But because of that, Kool-Aid McKinstry is available. Usually you don't get Kool-Aid and those guys. So if we're looking at this board, man, you got Kool-Aid McKinstry, Michael Penix Jr., Tyler Guyton, Bo Nix. You got a couple quarterbacks on here. Keon Coleman, Kingsley Sumatea, and Jordan Morgan are a handful of your top 7-8 guys available. Do any of these guys jump out at you?
Yeah, there is one guy. Now again, we're doing a joint collaboration here. But
that's your edge, isn't it?
Darius Robinson, like that's probably my draft crush. Yeah. And I don't know if the 49ers go that route because they got Gross Matos, and what Gross Matos does, I think they're potentially looking to fill like that with Gross Matos and Leonard Floyd. But if they we're like, all right, enough with this kind of 1-2 year guys. Let's get this long-term guy. When you lost Eric Armstead, Eric Armstead had a big impact on 2019 because of how he played. He could be that big elephant in and base downs, very stout versus the run, and then slide inside and be an interior pass rusher as a 3-tech. And I think Robinson is that guy. I've never been excited about watching a guy that's good versus the run. But when you watch the 49ers last year and how they kind of got manhandled a little bit on the edge, how they kind of got gashed a little bit in the run, like their run DVOA was not great. A guy like Darius Robinson can definitely help that. He is stout as an edge. He looks like this long, lean guy, and then come to find out he's like 6'5", 6'6", 285 pounds. But he's stout. He sets the edge extremely well. He knows how to spill extremely well. When it comes to double teaming him, he'll splitting nose, doubles. Is he a pure I'm a dip like Von Miller around the corner edge rusher? No, you're typically not going to get that guy at 31. But with what he does, you think of guys like that have Charles Omenihu, right? Where it's just like, man, you don't appreciate what he does until he's gone. Maybe even a Cleveland Farrell or Arden Key, right? Like those guys who were maybe drafted higher than they were supposed to be drafted. I think Darius Robinson has an opportunity to be drafted exactly where he's supposed to be drafted. In that pick 31, that's an area where I would like what he does. And I can clearly see how he fits in the 49ers defense for the long haul. So that's a guy I really like, but I wouldn't be mad at some of these other guys that are available as well.
Yeah, man. So I wanted to bring you on the show to get your take. So we'll ultimately let you make all these decisions. But I mean, look, what about Kool-Aid McKinstry, man, available at 28? He's off the board a lot of times when the Niners come across. He's a corner. He's one of the, you said corner is one of the biggest needs, and he's the highest ranked player on here. What would you think about the 49ers going after Kool-Aid McKinstry right here?
Would not hate it at all, but I just would not prioritize it over a guy that can be a stout 4-3 in and slide inside and play 3-tech.
Okay.
And so I would love, like, if you just told me, hey, this Thursday at 8 p.m. California time and it's 49ers selected Kool-Aid McKinstry, let's go. I would like that. You think
he's a CB1 for a team?
I think he has a lot of ability. He's a scrappy guy. I think he has the ability to run vertically with guys. I think at pick 31, he's the caliber of corner that you're likely going to get. At different times, you'd hear me say he's probably like my CB1 just because I like the way he competes in battles. I think he has a smart. I watched him in the red zone play from a press alignment, squeeze down the receiver, and then once the other guy came out, so he did what I call pressure key, visual key, hands on his pressure key while still keeping his eyes on his visual key. Once the pressure key went away, visual key came out. He jumped hit a guy for like 0-yard gain. So he clearly has like the mindset of understanding, just what you're trying to do defensively with the ability to play press, play zone. So he's definitely a guy that I like on the outside.
All right.
His size too, 5'11", 200 pounds, roughly 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, ran well with the Jones fracture in his foot. He's got a lot.
And a fantastic name, maybe the best name in the draft. So that's always important too. Kool-Aid. So you know what else is weird to me here, man? You got Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix. They slid all the way down on this. It's weird, man, because I feel like Michael Penix Jr. has the potential. Like, he could be a complete bust, but he also has the potential to be really good, man. That guy's played a ton of football, man. The hell of football. He's injured all the time, so that's a little concern. But, man, that guy, he can make every throw on the field, and he's played hell of football. I know the Niners aren't going to draft a quarterback, but seeing him right there is interesting because he could end up being a steal quarterback in this whole thing.
No, definitely. And, he can let it rip. And then to show that athleticism, he showed at his pro day, he didn't really utilize his legs a whole lot throughout his college football career. He's more of a guy that plays in the pocket. I think a lot of people were surprised to see him run as well. So on top of having a really good arm, his ability to be accurate, I think it looks a little funky when he throws because he's left-handed. And sometimes that looks a little funny. It comes off a little bit like Rivers was right-handed, but like there's a little bit of like a shot putting kind of motion to it. I don't know, but he's able to get the ball down the field. Smart kid, seen a lot of ability there. But I think the biggest concern will probably be the injuries I think he had like 4 seasons at Indiana where he like didn't finish the season, and then 2 straight years with Washington where he played every single game. So hopefully the injuries, the age, that doesn't hurt him too much. But I'm sure some people would take that into account.
Is there any chance that there's probably no chance? I'm just thinking of everything. Any chance of a draft and trade here? Like, does Washington? They probably draft quarterback early. Or the Patriots want Michael Penix Jr. and Niners draft him and trade him just to get him for him. I mean, I've seen it happen before.
I don't know about draft and trade, but I do see, hey, you want Michael Penix? Come up and get him. And 49ers move back to pick 34. And I don't think 49ers will mind that at all. Give us a next year. Give us your pick 34 and a next year second, and you got it.
Yeah. All right. And then we got, Tyler Guyton, who is an impressive offensive tackle to me. Hensley, another guy I like. Jordan Morgan, another guy I like. So they could solve the right tackle problem with one of these.
Ladd McConkey, too. He's a guy I like a lot.
Where's he at? Oh, yeah. Ladd McConkey. Can I just say the 49ers love some white skill players, so it wouldn't be surprising to me. They got the whitest skill players in the NFL. I just noticed it. I'm like, damn, this is like the Utah Jazz of football teams. But
you got the blackest of blacks with the way Debo is and Ayuk, and then you got the whitest of whites with George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey.
I mean, Brock Purdy. They just signed what's his name? What's the cat name?
Trent Taylor? Yeah.
Trent Taylor. So I mean, it's just something I observed. But all right, man, you're looking at this board. No part of you wants to get one of these O tackles, right? You want to get Darius Robinson.
I'm hoping that Kingsley Suamataia slips down, or one of these tackles. Like these tackles right here, I feel like one will be available at the end of the second. So for me right now, again, because I just see a vision for exactly how this guy can step in and play day one and be your base 4-3 in, slide inside on pass downs, and have Leonard Floyd just be a pass rusher. I'm going with Darius Robinson, excuse me.
I love it too, honestly, because what I've been looking at lately is I feel like Roger Rosengarten is like the perfect right tackle for the 49ers.
Yeah.
And he's literally available in the second round. So there's no reason to grab one of these guys if you think Roger Rosengarten is going to be the best one for you. So if you can get Darius Robinson and he's as good as Crock thinks he is, that's a good pick. So we want to go ahead and pick him then, right?
Yep. And ideally, maybe, wish you would have been able to take one of those trade offers and go back and grab them. But I'll take them. I'll still stay pat right here at pick 63. I wouldn't accept a trade. Well, moving back 3 spots
for 251. Okay. That might be worth it, bro, depending on what you want to do.
Offensive lineman, but we're not able to see.
Let's look at the O-line.
Okay.
Roger Rosengarten's there, and we could probably make this trade and get him.
All right, yeah, let's move back 3 spots. Let's do that.
And then we're trading our 251 for 138, which is a great
move. I like it. Yeah. I like that value there.
All right, so we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna hope. Now they want to do us the same team again.
Now is Rosengarten still there?
Let's go check. Man, if we can somehow pull that off, he's still there, dude. 86.
All right, let's move back one more time. Ooh. Moving back a little bit, moving up a little bit.
I'm scared, but I like it, man. If we can get it done. All right, let's accept it.
Let's accept it.
Yeah, he's still there, bro.
We'll stay pat there, and I think this is a good opportunity now to go ahead and grab Rosengarten.
I agree.
Wait, real quick. Let me just see receivers who's available. Ooh, Ricky Pearsall.
Look at though, but hey, did you get a chance to watch Malik Washington for me?
I haven't. You told me to watch him, somebody else, and I haven't watched him yet.
He's to me, this guy's gonna be a star in the NFL, and he's all the way down here. That's my opinion. But what do you think about Ricky?
What's our next pick? It's 94.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like the value of Ricky Pearsall here.
Well, what if we miss on our OT?
Yeah, that's tough.
So overall, the top guys right now, Michael Penix is still there. That's insane.
Chris Jenkins,
defensive tackle. Jonathan Brooks, running back. Bo Braid, safety from Maryland, Kalen Carson, cornerback from Wake Forest, Cedric Van Pran Granger, offensive center from Georgia, and then Junior Colson, linebacker. Those are the next.
I'm going Ricky Pearsall, and this is why.
Yeah.
I feel like, one, you get great value with the trade backs and still being able to get a guy of disability. I can see, again, another guy who I see exactly how he fits in the offense. Terrific three-cone, which Kyle Shanahan definitely covets. He has the ability to step in. You're not going to have both Aiyuk and Debo next year. You'll have one of them. I don't think you'll have both of them. So in the event that you won't have both of them, what type of guy do you want? And be able to get this caliber of a receiver who has ability, who has athleticism, terrific at the top of routes, understands how to create separation, really good hands, can be an inline blocker as well, like we've seen some of the 49 receivers be asked to do. I know everybody wants to go offensive tackle here, but I'm going to go for a position where this is a guy that can play right away, maybe not have a big role. Next year, definitely have a bigger role.
Do you agree with this offense, though? It says, agree with this. It says he isn't an imposing presence as a blocker with his leaner frame, and with a lean frame can struggle to fight through the physicality in the contact window. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, Z receiver, you'll be fine.
Okay.
he just ain't Juwan Jennings.
All right.
Hey,
so
I saw Richie James holding his own out there for the 49ers, blocking on the edge. So, the 49ers, they make it to where if you don't block, you can't play. So I don't think that'll be an issue with them.
Yeah. Okay. So Ricky's your choice here.
Yep. Slick Rick. Let's go.
All right. We got Ricky Pearsall out of Florida. All right. Next up, let's go back to all this. Let's happen to see if the tackles. No, he's gone. All right. So Roger Rosengarten is gone. Next up on a tackle is Blake Fisher, Delmar Glaze, Matt Gonsalves, Javon Foster. And then overall, let's look at overall.
Yeah.
Linebacker. Trotter is nice at 87, but they got Junior Colson. I don't really know much about Junior Colson, but I know Jeremiah Trotter I like him. You got cornerback DJ James, another defensive tackle from Duke, Dwayne Carter, receiver Johnny Wilson, who's like 6'6", but people say drop
6'7".
I like him personally, but people that watch a lot of Florida State says he has the dropsies, so maybe that's something we want to avoid. I don't know. Austin Booker, edge, another corner. You got a couple guys. What direction do you want to go here?
It's a third round, so it wouldn't be right if we didn't go running back and go Bucky Irvin. No, I'm joking. We ain't going Bucky Irvin. But let's see. All right, go all again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see what guys. I don't know if I've watched, and we've watched a lot of guys.
I would probably go Trotter on this one if it was me. I like him.
Let's see. What does it say? What does it say? Say squatty?
Says sports a squatty, dense, and compact frame with solid mass and proportional length. Feet-footed accelerator with exceptional on-attack explosiveness, shows glimpses of impressive nimble motion and horizontal burst. Football IQ shows his ability to keep gap discipline, track plays, and set up blocks. Second-round level coverage defender and depth discipline, route recognition, dynamic pass rusher. Weakness, lacks high and long speed and range, appears sluggish coming out of lateral transitions, sometimes attempts undercuts, at times tugs to a direction at route.
I like it. Let's go. I think late third round, this is the time to get a guy like that. He fits the 49ers kind of mold, 6 foot, 228. That's kind of their, like when you look at Dre Greenlaw coming out of college, you look at D Winters coming out of college, guys that kind of are a little bit more of that kind of build. So the 49ers, you're now throwing resources at the position. You got Dre Greenlaw, who will he start the season? Will he not? What will happen moving forward? You're locked in with Fred Warner, but let's go Jeremiah Trotter Jr. There's some DBs I like, but we may still have an opportunity to grab one of those guys.
Yeah, I like Trotter, man. So we got Darius Robinson, edge from Missouri, your draft crush. Ricky Pearsall from Florida, wide receiver, and linebacker Jeremiah Trotter. That's what we've done with our first 3 picks. Bo Limmer just went off the board to the Patriots. He's actually another center I think would have been great for the 49ers. But first on the board available, Dwayne Carter from Duke, defensive tackle, safety, Adrian Taylor, Dimerson, running back Bucky Irvin, McKinley Jackson, defensive tackle, Cade Stover, tight end, which is probably another need for the 49ers, Jaden Hicks, safety, And then Blake Fisher, offensive tackle. Which way do you want to go here? What do you want to look at?
Let me look at the cornerbacks and see if there were a couple that I saw that I like.
Phillips. The Niners have met with Phillips quite a bit.
Let's go with Andrew Phillips. And he's a guy I think he's going to transition into a nickel spot. Yeah. But, being able to kind of like, obviously they got some free agent guys, but being able to plug him in again, right now, I think he identifies as a nickel. He has good feet. He has good short area explosiveness. He's a guy that they showed the ability. I can play outside in base. I can slide inside in nickel situations, and he looked comfortable doing that. He's a little more fleet-footed. Yeah, let's go with the nickel DB.
Cool, man. 5'10", 190, Andrew Phillips. The 49ers have met with him a lot. If you guys follow Steph Sanchez, she puts out she has this chart of who the 49ers have visited in their top 30. And I looked at the chart for the last 5 years or whatever, and it's either, I think, 2 at the minimum, but as high as 5. So between 2 and 5 of the players they meet with in those top 30 visits, they end up getting on the team. Andrew Phillips is a guy the 49ers have met with quite a bit. So far, man, we got edge with Darius Robinson, receiver Ricky Pearsall, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., linebacker from Clemson, and Andrew Phillips, the corner from Kentucky. Let me see what's on the board here, man. We're at 124 now. And then we got another pick at 132. So a couple options. First, looks like Bucky
real quick
Irving
in the chat, we got Jay, and he says, no O-line is wild. So we kind of talked about a little bit if you were on earlier. The 49ers are bringing back their entire starting offensive line. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't want to improve over those guys. If I had to guess, they'd say, hey, man, we hope that we can improve at the guard position. We hope we can improve at the tackle position. But the later you get in the draft, it's just harder. And also the 49ers, they like a specific guy for the most part. Typically, and Aaron Banks was a little different, but not so much the road graders, not these like big power guys. It's guys that can move out in space. Can you just wall off guys in these outside zone schemes and whatnot? So I would love to add O-line, but are we drafting an offensive lineman that's going to come in and start over those guys? And the later you get in the draft, we can throw poop at the wall and see what sticks, but it's just harder to find a guy that's going to come in and start over your offensive lineman that started all last year. And that's not saying McKivitz is great. That's not saying that Feliciano's great. But it's just, I don't think it's like, oh, just draft an offensive line and this guy's just going to come in and play. It has to be the right guy.
Yeah, and I think I value line probably more, like the importance of it, and it's just probably because I was frustrated from last year. I thought they were going to do it last year, and they didn't. I probably would have got Rosengarten, but a lot of that is my ignorance on Ricky Pearsall. I don't watch college football, so what I do is when we come to draft, I mean, I watch it if it's on, but I just don't have a lot of time for it. But what I do is when we come to the draft, I just scout players individually, and I really haven't seen a lot of Ricky Pearsall, so I have no feelings on him. But if Crock says he's good, I believe it.
We talked about 49ers liking their white skill position players, right?
Yeah.
He's got a little flavor to him, though. He's got a little. He done been around a little bit.
Is this a white dude? Ricky Pearsall is a white dude?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, that sounds like a.
Yeah, but he's got some flavor. He's got some flavor to him. His nickname Slick Rick. So, yeah, I like Ricky Pearsall.
All right, cool, man. Well, we got pick 124, man. What are you feeling right now? What do you want to look at? I know a lot of people have talked about Wingo, defensive tackle, but another guy, another edge. But we already got our edge. But Hunt is. I like what I see from Hunt. Jalen Wright is a really good running back. He's available here.
And he's got that explosiveness, right?
Yeah, I like Jalen Wright. I mean, look at he's 5'10", 210.
Look at that RAS score.
Yeah. He's and then Brandon Coleman from TCU, guard. I really like him, man. 6'4". He's at 9.97 RAS score.
What does it say? Not take him. That's what I was looking for right there. Just that athletic ability, movement skill.
What did you see?
Just his RAS score. Like, that's telling me that overall he's a good athlete. And if you're the 49ers at this spot, am I drafting the guy that I'm just guaranteed he's going to hit? No, but can I draft a guy that has things that we're looking for and has upside? Again, I don't think I'm drafting at this point a guy that's going to step in and start day one. But if he comes in and he does some things well and we like it, hey, maybe there is a competition. Or hey, maybe there's things like towards the middle of the season he starts catching on, and then he starts working his way in that way. All right, but just when you look at the size, when you look at the athleticism score, I think that's a guy that I would, at this point in the draft, take a chance on.
Yeah, I mean, I really like him actually, and he could play center, he could play guard, and that's a need for the 49ers. So you want Brandon Coleman? I'm all on board on that one.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. So we got him. Next spot is 132. So far, the 49ers, we drafted an edge, Arius Robinson, Ricky Pearsall, Jeremiah Trotter, linebacker from Clemson, Andrew Phillips, corner from Kentucky, and Brandon Coleman, guard spot. We got that O-lineman that everybody's probably been wanting. I'm telling you, man, I look at one guy right here, Jalen Wright. He's still available at running back, but there's a lot of other good players as well. It looks like 3 running backs are the highest rated. And then we got Kyrie Jackson, corner. What do you want to do? There's guard Mason McCormick. I think he's decent. He has actually a very high RAS score as well, 6'4", 309. He's a guard. You can make.
Let's go with him. Let's double up on that interior, especially since Coleman has that ability to be able to play inside as well. At the center position. So you have 2 guys that can potentially eventually play at the guard position. We don't have any tackles, but I like kind of trying to figure out a way to bolster up that interior offensive line when you only have Feliciano for this year.
Yeah, I think Brandon Coleman and Mason McCormick, between the two, you have 2 really good athletes with high potentials. One could be a guard, one could be a center. So I think it's good value too, right? I think for where we're drafting them, it doesn't feel risky. Like some of those, I'll be honest, like I'm more O-lineman than probably anybody I know, like as far as like what I want the 49ers to get. But it does feel like a little worrisome that you're drafting the 7th to 10th best right tackle at 31. Yeah. I'd rather draft the 8th best guard at 130, 124. This seems more like a better value.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. We have a couple trade offers.
Nope, we're not trading because I want Theo Johnson tight end out of Penn State.
Hey, bro, that's my exact pick. That's my favorite tight end in this
So
draft.
no trade. We're not moving back. Come on.
My eye was on him, and I was like, come on, Crock. Let's get 6'6", 259, 993. This dude's a freak. I love Theo Johnson. He's probably my favorite tight end in this draft. We agree, man.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and get him.
Get that athletic guy. You can split him. All right, let me see who's available.
Excuse me. Let's see what we got real quick, just to remind ourselves. Edge, receiver, linebacker, corner, offensive guard, tight end. One of your biggest needs in this draft, Crock, that you said was safety, and we haven't addressed that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to address it here or not.
Let's see what do we have at safety.
So I'm gonna be a little biased here. Thomas Harper, I really liked what I saw. He could play safety and he could play nickel. And he follows me on Twitter, and I'm communicating with him. Might be interviewing him soon. So,
which one?
Thomas Harper from Notre Dame. I really like him. But the 49ers honestly have met with Sione Vaki probably like 5 times already. So,
all right, so
I don't know, which one do you like?
Go back to everybody who's available.
Okay, it's available. And Proctor's probably really good as well from Ohio at 177. It's another good one. Kenny Logan Jr. is ranked the highest from Kansas. But look at his RAS score, dude. What? 1.7? That's horrible, dude. Let me see. Proctor's 6.998. Here's another player. But if we didn't grab center or guard already, but Hunter Nazard, man, at 178 is actually, I think, a really good selection, but we're already good there, so we probably don't need to go that route. Which way you want to go, bro?
They took the running backs from us.
Yeah, they did. Let's look and see who's there. Yeah, they got all the ones. You know who's gonna be there though? Frank Gore Jr. You can probably get him with the last pick, honestly, if you want it.
Yeah. Let's go defensive tackle and bolster up that middle, because the guy that I selected in the first round, that's the guy that we want to come in and play right now. But you also kind of have to prepare for the future. And, getting a big – I really want a space eater. So let's go with the kid that's 329.
This is your best score. 329, you said?
329 pounds. I saw a D tackle.
Who was that? Tyler. Oops. What the hell just happened? There we go. Oh my God, bro.
We lost the whole draft?
We lost the whole draft.
Oh
Holy it's the advertisements, man.
no.
I accidentally clicked the advertisement. It took me off the screen, and we are fudged. What do you want to do, bro?
Baby.
You want to speed through it, or are you done? That's kind of sad.
Damn, we were rolling too.
Man, I'm pissed right now. That's my fault, you guys. I apologize. That was a good draft. I'll go back and I'll recap it, so at least you guys know, man. Damn, that sucks, bro.
Yeah. Well, we can maybe rattle off some of the names that we got.
Shit.
Oh,
I screwed up, man.
man.
Party foul. I'm a speed do this. I'm a speed
All
run this
right.
one. All right. Hopefully we get the same pick. But your boy Cooper's here, man. Let's speed. I'm just gonna let you pick.
Oh man.
This is fucked up.
Do we want to keep it the same, or we just want to speed through?
Just do whatever you would do in this situation, because we're probably not gonna be able to do it the same.
I go Cooper DeJean.
Boom. Speed draft. Yeah, that's my guys. First of all, I want to apologize to everybody watching right here. You like this trade?
I ain't trying. No, I'm good.
You good, man? All right.
Let's see.
Michael Hall Jr.'s there, bro. D tackle. Cedric Gray's there, linebacker. Braden Fisk, who everybody loves, but I don't know if he's going to translate in the NFL. Yeah.
Scroll down a little bit more.
I messed this one up, dude.
Yeah, we might just we just gotta recap what we did at least early on, and then just kind of go off of that.
Yeah,
and maybe like we can go back and kind of like take a screenshot and be able to kind of post.
Yeah, I'll go back and find out exactly what we did. How many picks did we have left? Like 2 or 3?
Yeah, like 2 or 3.
Dang, party foul, man.
We were getting to the end anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe what I could do is while we are on live, I can screenshot it, text it to you, and then we can post what we had.
I'll definitely post it back up here after we're done, man. Your first pick was receiver, right? Who did you pick? Do you remember?
Nah, my first pick wasn't receiver.
What was
it? Was Darius Robinson.
Darius Robinson was your first pick. Darius Robinson is your draft crush. You think he's a legit day one starter in the NFL. Then you got Ricky Pearsall from Florida. That was your second pick. Third pick, man. I'm trying to remember who his third pick was.
I got you right here. So first pick was Darius Robinson. Second pick, Ricky Pearsall. Third pick, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., linebacker. Fourth pick, Andrew Phillips. Let's see. All right, and then this is okay. That's where we messed up right there. So,
how do you feel about the picks that you got, man? How were you feeling about that draft?
Oh, I mean, I was feeling very good. I thought we had got really good value with a lot of them. I feel like we got guys that can make both immediate and long term. Here we go. And I'm trying to.
I remember where we were at. We were at safety is where we were at. We were.
I ideally would have liked to be able to get a safety.
Here's where we were. I remember. I got it on the screen. Josh Proctor, Patrick McCormick, Trey Taylor, Thomas Harper, Sione Vaki. These were the guys that we were looking at. Who would you have drafted out of these safeties?
Hold on. So here's what we could do. I'm sending it to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can put that on your screen. What I just sent.
All right. Let me see. Thank you. I'll get that and I'll pop it on as soon as it comes through. All right, but while we're doing that, though, we were looking at safeties. Is there a safety here that you like?
I haven't watched a whole lot of the safeties, but I got Cooper DeJean. So, but you're saying like like late in the draft? Well, you said they've met with Sione, so we could have went him.
There we are. Look at Crock coming through.
Little blurry, but
I'm I'll fix it a little bit. But so this is where we were. We had Darius Robinson, edge, Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver, Jeremiah Trotter, which is a good pick at linebacker, Andrew Phillips, corner, Brandon Coleman, offensive guard, Mason McCormick, offensive guard. I think Coleman could probably play center as well, and then Theo Johnson, tight end. That was actually a really good draft, to be honest. We didn't get our right tackle, which I want, but I just don't know enough about.
If you cut it off, if you cut that draft off at after right there at Theo Johnson, I'm good with that.
You're already good. All right.
Would have ideally liked to get a safety. Would have liked to get an offensive tackle. Would have liked to throw a running back in there, but 49ers have done really good with undrafted free agent running backs. But overall, just with the players that we were able to get, I'm excited about that. Like I would be, if you told me that was a draft, I would be excited about it.
When I'm looking at this draft in general, man, I'm actually really excited about the whole draft. There's some really good players throughout this draft at lots of positions. Like, I know I want a right tackle hella bad, but when we go to draft at 31, it might not be realistic to pick an offensive tackle at that position, because most of the good ones are going to be gone, and the other 3 or 4 that might be there, they're kind of like, I don't know. They could end up working out. They could not.
Yeah, so, like you got Mims, right? And it's like, he has the inexperience, right? Like didn't play a whole lot. I think he played 8 games, only finished 6 in college. But he has a size and he has a lot of ability. Is he a guy that's going to step in and be a starter day one, or do you play more the long play, with him on that O-line? That's something to think about. So I definitely think they have. There's a scenario where they do go O-line, and I don't think anybody would be mad at that. Yeah. But I bet Kyle's looking at it like, is this guy that we're going to get able to come in and start over our tackle or our guard? And if not, is there a guy that we could draft at another position that is able to come in and do that? And that should be the conversation surrounding pick 31.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, and there's a lot of good interior O-line in this draft that you can get later on in rounds. Even Hunter Nazard, who's still on the board at 178, he actually has potential to be a good player. Josh Proctor's, I don't know about him, but I mean, Eric All is another tight end available at 172 who has a lot of talent. This draft is like very talented with receivers, offensive linemen, defensive tackles. They have a lot of good talent as well. So I'm looking forward to this draft, man. How would you grade yourself in this draft?
Oh man, I'd give myself an A-. For me, it's. I felt like I got some guys. For me, it's really more so the first 2 picks, and then being able to get Andrew Phillips, and then being able to get a tight end, that has a lot of ability and upside. Like for me, that's where.
He'd be the number 2 tight end right away on this.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, and to get him that late, so just to get a versatile defensive lineman, a receiver who I really feel like can come in and play right away for real. Again, Andrew Phillips, more of a nickel. I think he'll be a nickel at the next level. And then Theo Johnson, and then you got some athletic guards that, hey, can one of you guys work out? For me, I really like that.
Yeah, no, I think you did a good job, man. I'll give you an A. It'd be nice if we could grade ourselves in school. All right, man. I got a couple.
I know I would have got 4.0 if I graded myself. So don't take my self grade too serious.
Dave Barclay says another super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, I do want to say to the people that don't know, Ryan is very good and serious about what he does. He helps me with my questions when I'm in Montana. So if you need help, this is the guy to ask. Thank you, Dave. That's much appreciated, brother.
Hey, he helps me too. Anytime I have questions or anything, throughout my situation right now with being in escrow by the house, he's always like gets on the phone with me, chops it up, and whatever I need. Thanks, man. I appreciate the plug, man. The Niners are one of my passions, and real estate legit is one of my passions. I love it. So, if anyone needs anything, hit me up or just visit RyanGHensley.com. Cup said Ryan's badass. I love these shows with Crock. I love him too, man. I'm thrilled when Crock agreed to do these shows with me regularly. I was ecstatic. He's up there in
the Mount Rushmore of 49er content creators.
Oh man, I don't know about that. I just love talking football, man. Just like all of us.
Dude, 2 years ago, I've been doing this 18 months. 2 years ago, I would just sit and watch Grant or you.
Really?
Pretty much.
Oh, that's
it. And it's weird now 18 months later, I'm doing shows with Grant and Crock every Monday. So it's kind of cool for me. Dave Barkley says, do it again. What did I do? Oh, I messed it up. Oh, he's do the draft again. I got it. And then real quick, Melvin wants to know what you think about Kenshin's safety from Miami. Have you checked him out?
Yeah, I don't. The testing scares me a little bit. I think he's a guy that can play, but I would like to see a little bit more athletic upside at the safety position. I just think that's where it's kind of going. You know, if he was a guy that showed, you know, Jair Brown ability on the field, like not the most athletic guy, but Jair Brown led college football in interceptions the 2 years he played D1 ball. You know, Talanoa Hufanga, we saw his ability to make plays and be all over the field. So, you know, if you showed that kind of ability, then cool, but I don't think he showed that and did not test very well.
Yeah. Well, great job today. I'm going to be on with Grant. We usually go at 11, but John Lynch is going to speak at noon, so we're going to go after that. So sometime after John Lynch is done talking, I'll go live with Grant. And then you're going to be on Locked On 49ers, I'm assuming, today at some point, right? What time you guys
myself, Brian Peacock. I think we're recording 2 shows. I don't know if any of them are going to be live. I know one's going to be at 12:30. Then I think we record the other one right after that. Okay. Maybe one of them will be live. So look for a Locked On 49er live show around 12:30 or 1.
Right on. Make sure you guys subscribe to Crock, subscribe to Locked On 49ers, subscribe here, subscribe to Meal Tickets. That's 4 subscriptions that you got to have right now. Make sure you do that. Crock, man, thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate you.
Nah, for sure, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Oh, shit. Lakers? I mean, real quick, the Lakers got a chance? I mean, I'm sorry. I got to point it out. The Lakers did lose to the Nuggets.
You know, as y'all know, I'm a big Laker fan. And, you know, I think the most frustrating thing is Lakers got swept by the Nuggets last year. And 2 out of 4 of those games, the 49ers, I keep saying 49ers, the Lakers were up double digits. And then in this game, you're up double digits on the road in the first half, and the Lakers blow it again.
9 in a row, bro. 9 in a row.
Yeah, I know. They're dominating the Lakers. The Lakers clearly have no answer. If you're up double digits and you're letting this team every single time come back, they just kind of have your number. So you don't want to play with fire, but it probably would have been more beneficial to lose to the Pelicans, and then try to beat the Kings or try to beat the Kings, you know, 100%. But or the Warriors. But
it would have came.
Play who you got to play. You got to get through them anyways. Yeah. I'd say this: you when it comes to beating, it doesn't matter when you play them. You're gonna have to play them. So if you can play them now and knock them off, great. That just makes your path a little easier. But right now, I keep saying 49. The Lakers have the hardest path for them. But hey, man, you got to figure it out. And you have great players. You know, you got AD, you got Bron. They're playing at a high level. You need the others. You need D'Angelo Russell. You can't be 1 for 10 from downtown. Reeves, but honestly, can't be.
Russell's the reason why y'all got past the Pelicans.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the others got to step up, but it's an uphill battle for sure. Yeah. But, I'm hoping tonight, they get a lead and hold that lead. But it hasn't been looking good versus Nuggets.
I think the Lakers are going to be joining the Kings and my Warriors in Cabo in about 4 games.
It's looking that way, but hopefully not.
Right on, Crock, man. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching the Ryan G. Hensley Show. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. The Ryan G. Hensley Show is brought to you by Hensley Real Estate and Mortgage. I've been operating my real estate business in the state of California since 2009, and I would love to help your family. We are also sponsored by Hensley Solar. I can put solar on your house in up to 38 states. Underdog Fantasy is a sponsor of the channel. Please check out the details in the description to see how you can join Underdog Fantasy and get $100 matched in your initial deposit. And finally, I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Blue Water Credit. They are the best credit repair company I've ever dealt with. If you want to fix your credit, reach out to Blue Water Credit. Details in the description for all of my